Hey guys, I'm the 50s Kid. In this video, we're going to talk about machine shops and how no two are created equal. Just like no two auto repair facilities are going to be equal, you're going to have some really unscrupulous facilities and some really great facilities, and it just depends on who's running them. And the same thing applies for machine shops. So I want to talk about two experiences that I just had just now, about an hour ago, driving around my local town looking for a machine shop to do some work on a 2001 Kia Sportage cylinder head that needs to be rebuilt. So the first place I went to is I walk in and I start telling him about the head and telling him what I want to get done, and he stops me and he says, do you want to pressure test it? And I'm like, well, no, I don't really think I need a pressure test. I'm kind of trying to keep this one under budget. And he's like, well, what's wrong with the engine? And I say, you know, the intake valves on two of the cylinders are gunked up, and and then he stops me right there and he says, do you want to get valve guides? And I'm like, well, I actually don't want to get the valve guides replaced on this one because I don't care if it lasts that long. And then he stops me and he's like, you know what? I don't want the job. I'm going to pass. And I was like, I was taken aback. I was like, well, wait a minute. You didn't even let me finish my whole spiel on what I want done. He's like, I'm just going to give you a short answer right there, because if you don't want if you don't want new valve guides, then that means I have to increase the prices of my labor. And right, that's a huge red flag right there. And I'm like, okay. And I kept on talking with him about it, and I wanted to get out. I wanted to continue to talk to him and tell him I wanted to tell him that if he disassembled the head and he measured the play on the valve guides and he determined that the play was excessive beyond the manufacturer's specifications, then yeah, of course, replace the valve guides because they need to be replaced. But if they're in the middle of their specification, if they're only halfway worn, halfway through their life, then I'm not gonna replace the valve guides, because I don't think that the whole car is going to last that long. I'm not rebuilding the bottom end. I don't really need to go that much into rebuilding the head. I only want to get it cleaned up, get a basic valve job, and get it resurfaced. But he didn't even let me finish. He already was telling me to get out of here because he doesn't want the job, because he's not going to make enough money on it. And I was just like, wow, that was, I mean, wow, how can your customer service really be that bad? The first machine shop that I went to that did my BMW rebuild recently, they were not like that. I was talking with them about what I want, and I want to do this, I want to do that, or I don't want to do this, and he was adjusting prices for me. It was fine. But this guy at this machine shop, he wanted to sell me parts. And if he couldn't sell me parts, he was going to increase the price of his labor because he wants to make a certain amount. He wants to make $400 or $500 out of a job, and I'm just like, not a good experience with that guy in that place. So I went at this time, I was gonna go over to the original place that did my BMW work, which was Martin Davidson's machine shop in Reseda. And I was totally happy with them. They had a nice, clean place. They were very communicative with me. I could call up. They would answer the phone all the time. The experience was really great there. The only reason I didn't go is because they're kind of far away. They're about 25 minutes away, and I have other machine shops in my area. I have ones just down the street that I could go to. And with this one, with a Kia Sportage, it doesn't have a multi-layer steel head gasket on it, so I wasn't too concerned about the surface finish when they resurfaced the head. I wasn't too concerned. They can do it, the old style way. They can do it with their old, CBN cutter. I think it's called a CBN cutter instead of a PCD cutter. That's what you need to use if you're doing something that's using a multi-layered steel head gasket, and you need the surface finish to be like a mirror finish, with the proper RA finish. So, not all machine shops have those newer PCD cutters. They have older CBN cutters. I forget what they stand for. I think it's like carbon boron nitride maybe, or something like that. So I could have gone to any one of these machine shops around here that are honestly less expensive. They're in the, they're in the sort of parts of town where all the auto part or all the auto repair shops are. And, you know, so I went to a shop like that called Metric Engine, which is like here in North Hollywood, kind of around the corner from me. And the experience could not have been any different. They were real nice guys. They, you know, I was telling them about what I want, and, you know, I was the one who brought up, like, I don't think I need a pressure test on this because I didn't have any coolant loss. He's like, no, you don't need a pressure test. You don't need to do that. And I was, you know, I was like, yeah, exactly. Like, he wasn't trying to push it on me. He listened to me, and he, you know, he listened to what I wanted. And he, you know, it just could not have been any different of an experience. Anyway, they quoted me $220 for doing a basic valve job, resurface, and clean it up. And that is less than I was even expecting. I was expecting around $300, and they quoted $220. So could not have been a different experience. They were there. They were nice guys. There were a bunch of them. I was talking to the machinist, and I actually was talking to the machinist who started breaking down the head, and he actually popped out the lifters for me so that I could take them and clean them up, because I just want to make sure that none of them are stuck open or stuck out or stuck closed. And I just wanted to clean them out, you know, rather than have them replace them. And they were fine with that. He popped them out and gave them to me. So basically, the point of this is that you need to ask questions. You need to trust your instincts. You need to make sure that you've got good communication. You need to make sure that the guy is, you know, good at customer service and is willing to do what you want to do, understands, you know, that you're within a budget, and is not trying to, you know, make as much money as possible, and is not going to adjust his labor fees in order to compensate. You want to go to a place that has set labor fees for this, that, and the other thing, so that you can go in and get just what you want and no more. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you found this video interesting, helpful. If I earned your subscription, I want to thank you. I am the 50s Kid. Thanks a lot for watching.